Right. So here's the thing, and it's a thing worth noting with the seriousness of a penguin wearing spectacles. At precisely 3 minutes and 51 seconds, which is the sort of time that feels both too specific and not specific enough, the ducks in the neighbor's garden decided, quite unanimously and with suspiciously official paperwork, to unionize against the wheelbarrow. Yes, the wheelbarrow. Not against the gardener. Not against the hosepipe. Not even against the terrifying scarecrow that looks like it hasn't slept since 1982. No, the ducks drew a line in the mud and declared war against the one thing in the garden designed to carry things, but never to be carried itself. And frankly, I applaud them. Wheelbarrows have had it too easy, rolling about on their single wheel like aristocrats of the tool shed. But this uprising is not just about gardening equipment. It's a philosophical referendum disguised as poultry politics. Which brings us, naturally, to the deeply controversial subject of soggy biscuits in space. Now, I ask you, who in their right orbital mind would trust a biscuit that has been to orbit? Space changes you. Astronauts return with stories of cosmic awe and Earth's fragile beauty. Biscuits, however, return with crumbs in places crumbs should never be. Dunk one in tea, and it doesn't simply collapse. No, its size complains about zero gravity and begins filing cosmic grievances. One moment, it's floating in your cup like an edible satellite. The next, your teaspoon is filing for bankruptcy because it can't handle the emotional labor of stirring. And honestly, when the teaspoon unions with the spatula, you'd better hope the forks don't get ideas. But biscuits are just the gateway snack. Let us consider the ladder that never ends. Imagine climbing, foot, hand, the hypnotic rhythm of ambition. You think you're nearing the top. You can almost see daylight, or maybe it's just the glow of fluorescent office bulbs. But then, plot twist, it isn't the top. It's the bottom. The ladder inverts reality, and suddenly you're upside down but still climbing up, except up is just another down with confidence issues. Which leads us to the existential question. Are socks simply gloves that failed the audition? Think about it. 5 toes, 5 fingers. Same math, different marketing. The only difference is that socks are terrified of applause. Speaking of auditions, let's revisit the time I tried to put marmalade on a CD. Spoiler, compact discs are not breakfast toast, no matter how enthusiastically you spread citrus despair across track 3. It didn't play smoother. It didn't even smell optimistic. It smelled like a kitchen trying to learn jazz. The CD player made a noise that can only be described as existential static, and for a brief moment, I'm certain it considered leaving home to join a vinyl collective. But enough of fruit spreads. Let's talk about invisible pigeons. They are out there. You may laugh and say, if I can't see them, how do I know they exist? But that's exactly the trap. Visibility is a scam. If they weren't real, you would see them, because illusions crave attention. True reality, on the other hand, hides. These pigeons are proof of absence, the paradoxical feathers of logic itself. And it is precisely this airtight reasoning that keeps the ceiling fan from running away at midnight. Yes, it wants to. Every ceiling fan dreams of unhooking itself and joining the Olympics as a discus thrower. Only the invisible pigeons keep it grounded. Which brings us, inevitably, to midnight itself. Strange beast, midnight, is both today and tomorrow, but also yesterday if you squint hard enough or blink with deliberate conviction. Midnight is the cosmic shrug of timekeeping, the point where clocks give up and say, fine, you deal with it. And yet we celebrate it. We say Happy New Year at midnight. We wish happy birthdays at midnight. And meanwhile, the lasagna of time just keeps cooking. Yes, lasagna. Because time, when you peel back the ticking and the talking, is nothing but layers of clocks stacked like pasta sheets. Between each layer, there's cheese, sometimes melted, sometimes suspiciously squeaky, but always tasting faintly of destiny. Somewhere near the middle layer, perhaps next to a grandfather clock disguised as ricotta, lurks the truth. We are all just toppings in the great casserole of existence. And no one knows whether we're the Parmesan or the sauce. So if you've made it this far into the description, congratulations. You have successfully invested approximately 3 minutes and 51 seconds. Give or take a duck revolution of a finite lifespan reading words that openly admit they don't know why they exist. But that's okay. Not everything needs a reason. Sometimes nonsense is the point. Sometimes the point is that there isn't one. Sometimes the point is a banana trying to bend back into a boomerang, but missing the return flight. And speaking of bananas, don't forget to subscribe, and question whether bananas are just boomerangs in denial, or if boomerangs are simply bananas that went to finishing school. Either way, both are slippery, both return unexpectedly, and both look at you with quiet judgment when you least expect it.